Hello, everyone. I would like to thank organizers to give me this opportunity to share my experience of writing and getting this innovative Young Biotechnologist Award that I received in 2019. So this award is given by Department of Biotechnology, and some of the details and the application process can be found on the given link. And before going into the details of my experience with this grant writing, I can briefly introduce myself. I did my PhD from Institute of Genomics and Integrative Biology in 2014, and immediately after completing my PhD, I went to MRC protein ubiquitination and phosphorylation unit in United Kingdom, and then I returned to India and joined as an assistant professor in IISER-Bhopal in 2019, where my lab is basically working on understanding some of the key enzymes which are involved in maintaining the the proper function of the mitochondria, and also we are interested in understanding the mechanism of some of the proteins which are involved in host pathogen interaction. Majorly, we use structure biology, X-ray crystallography as a tool to understand these proteins in my lab. Now, coming back to this grant, so basically, the idea of this grant is to identify and nurture outstanding young scientists who have got innovative ideas and who are desirous of pursuing research in frontier areas of biotechnology. Um, One of the eligibility criteria for this grant is that you must have PhD degree, and either you have a regular position in any universities or institutes in India. If you don't have regular position, what you need to do is you need to find a mentor in any of these places who can support your application. And basically the idea is that the institute and the mentor should provide you the lab space and the needed facilities for completing your project, whatever you are proposing. But the idea is that the awardees are supposed to work independently. One of the other essential criteria for eligibility is that you should have four publications as first author or as corresponding author, or you can have one granted Indian patent or one international patent, right? So these are some of the essential criterias, and some other eligibility criterias can be found in the detailed application. Uh, so now we can talk about one of the most important aspect of any grant, that is money, right? Unlike any other grant where you are asked for your requirements and you always give overestimated um, money, because you know that whatever you are asking you are always going to get less than that. So but in one good thing about this grant is that they have got cap limit for individual budget head, and even if you are asking more than that, you are not going to get that. So you have to be realistic and you have to ask for the money, keeping in mind whatever your requirements are, um, uh, and keeping in mind the limit of the budget heads, right? So for this grant, you have you get 10 lakh one time money up to 10 lakh you can get for buying equipments, and this money you will get in first year of your award. And then other components of this grant is, if you have regular position in any university or institute, then you will get cash award of 1 lakh rupees every year. And this grant is for 3 years, so you'll get cash award of 1 lakh every year up to 3 years. Uh, if you don't have regular position, then you will get your salary is going to be covered by this grant, and you'll get 70,000, 75,000 rupees per month for 3 years. um, I think this was the amount when I applied, but this may, this is subjected to be changed as per revision of the salary structure by the funding agency. So you can always get updated information from the website. Then other one more component of this grant is consumable money, and which is 10 lakh per year, and so that means you will get 30 lakh in total for buying consumables for your project. You can ask for manpower, which could be either JRF or SRF or project assistant, and their salary is going to be covered by this grant. Overheads are as per DBT rules, but that money is something which goes to the institute for giving you space and providing you all the facilities. Right. So these are some of the components of your grant, which I believe is quite lucrative and quite helpful, especially when you are setting up your lab. Right. So basically, the application process in two phases. In first phase, you are asked to submit your project proposal, and in the application form itself, funding agency usually mention that you should write your project in under these sections, under these titles. You need to introduce, you need to give a brief introduction about your project. You need to give proper background of your project proposal, mention clearly what are the objectives and hypothesis of your project, and obviously the methodology and whatever the expected outcome. Um, so obviously you are going to write your project under these titles. But one thing which I would like to share with you, which I believe uh, helped me quite a lot to successfully get this done, was that you should pick a project which is really novel, and which also has some translational aspect. And this is something which I was told by some of my seniors who got this grant before me. So I also felt during the application process that the committee really look for the novelty aspect of your project, and if if there is some translational aspect of your project, that will really help you to get this grant successfully. So these are some of the things which you should always keep in your mind when you are writing for this grant, and make sure that you your project your proposal is not too much cluttered. You should be able to write your project in much clear way, and make sure that you have highlighted the novelty and translational aspect of your project. So these are some of the things which you should keep in your mind when you are writing for this grant. Once your project proposal is screened for interview process, you will be called for interview. And again, during the interview process also, they will ask you to make your presentation under the following titles, which are, again, like, you'll have to explain your research, what is your hypothesis, what are the objectives of your project, and what is the strategy or the method that you are going to use for implementation of your project, and obviously expected milestone and novelty. One thing is that during my time, they ask us to make a presentation which is not more than 10 minutes. So you must stick to the time limit that you are given, because you are not going to get more than 10 minutes. The committee, the panel is going to stop you after 10 minutes. So make sure that you practice for your presentation, and make sure that you finish your presentation within 5 minutes. Again, make sure that you clearly explain the problem that you want to address, clearly explain the way you are going to address those problems, or the way you are going to achieve your objectives, and highlight the novelty or the translational aspect of your project. Then the panel member will try to see if your project is feasible. They will ask you questions which will help them to understand whether these objectives are achievable or not, and whether they have some novelty or translational aspect or not. So these are some of the things which I learned during this application process, and which I shared with you. And I believe keeping some of these small points in my mind while writing the project proposal, or during interview process, these things help me a lot and help me to get this grant successfully. I hope this presentation helps you